Snake was right. So $5 super chat. Thank you so much. And Snake and Kent debated last night. So here we go. He asked.
Good debate.
That was. So he's asking you, Kent, and he says, for Kent, birds are reptiles and dinosaurs by definition, whether related or not. Do you agree dogs and whales are both mammals?
Well, Taylor, your first statement, birds are reptiles and dinosaurs by definition. This is propaganda. This is not science. Birds are not reptiles. Birds are not dinosaurs. Birds are birds, okay? Ask your mama, she can explain it to you. The fact that you make a statement like that doesn't make it true. This is propaganda. This is not science. Birds make baby birds every time, without exception. You got an example, exception to that? I'd like to see it. So for you to just make a statement like that, that's like me saying, well, elephants can fly. No, they can't. You can't fly. And birds are not reptiles. I'm sorry, they're not. So you're dreaming. Your premise is totally wrong. So your question's invalid. It's like me asking you, why are elephants orange? They're not orange, okay? The question's invalid. Your statement starts off with something real stupid. Birds are not reptiles. Real stupid. Believe that if you want, but that's not science. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, Kent. AJ, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I think we have another question that Kent didn't answer because the question was about are dogs and whales both mammals?
Oh, yeah. So, man has decided to classify animals that breathe air, that are warm-blooded, that produce live young as mammals. I don't think the dog cares that we put him in the same category as the whale. I don't think he even thinks about it. But yes, man has decided, our careless lineage classification system in 1700s divided it up, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Man has arbitrarily decided to arrange things in categories. That's great. It's wonderful. I'm not against that. That's changed over the years many, many times and probably going to change again. Some animals move from one species to a different kind or a different variety or a different subspecies. But yes, man has decided dogs and whales are both mammals. That does not mean birds are reptiles. Totally unrelated. Go ahead.
So man has decided that dogs and whales are both mammals, and you say that that's valid, but man has also decided that reptiles are vertebrates that have scales on at least one part of their body and lay eggs, but that doesn't include birds as reptiles. That's invalid. Seems like a double standard to me.
Okay, thank you so much. Another one comes in from Snake was right. So $5 super chat. Thank you so much. And he's asking again for you, Kent. How do you know all squirrels had a common ancestor? What would be your method of comparison?
First place, I don't know that.
Earlier that day.
These squirrels that you showed all originally had a common ancestor called a squirrel. I don't know that. I haven't watched them reproduce all of them.
You're not very bright, are you?
We got a bunch of them doing around here all the time. So I suspect that's true. But again, I'm not demanding mine to be taught. They want us to all teach that squirrels and pine trees have a common ancestor. How do you know squirrels and pine trees have a common ancestor? I think it's logic 101 to say, sure, all the squirrels could have come from a squirrel. It's not logic to say all the squirrels could have come from a pine tree.
No one says that.
But you got these lines on paper connecting plants and animals to a common ancestor. That's propaganda.
Thank you, Kent. AJ, go ahead.
Well, Kent is trying to get his creation material taught in public schools. I've established that.
Buy a stack of these from our ministry and pass them out to every kid and say, kid, I'll give you $10 if you'll watch this. This one right here has helped hundreds of thousands of public school kids. It's also part of our seminar series if you want to get the whole thing for $50. Bert can help you get creation materials into your public school libraries.
So he's just wrong, and he's admitted that. Well, you're the one that brought it up. I thought that science was what we know. So if you don't know this, then I guess it's not science that all squirrels had a common ancestor.
Is it science that squirrels and pine trees have a common ancestor?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you, AJ. Next question is another super chat from Snake Was Right. Appreciate it, $10. And for you again, Kent. So it looks like we're having another debate between you and Snake here. Appreciate these questions, keeping it fun. So he asks, he says single-celled eukaryotes have been observed to produce multicellular eukaryotes. Doesn't break the law of monophyly since eukaryote isn't defined by being unicellular. Any thoughts, Kent?
I'd like to see the evidence for that. I'd be glad to study. You're talking about a two-celled creature or a colony of cells working together. Single-celled creatures coming together to make a colony is not the same as a multi-celled creature.
Appreciate it, Kent. AJ, any response?
Well, I mean, all humans start out as a single cell and become multicellular eukaryotes, although I'm not sure if that's what that person means. Now, there are examples of algae, like we talked about in the last debate I did with Kent, that were observed to produce or to become multicellular. And the reason that this grouping of cells is not a colony is because in a colony, any cell can break off from the group and live on its own. But in a living organism, all of the cells have different functions. And so if it breaks off, it'll die. That's the difference between a multicellular organism and simply a colony of single cells that come together.
Okay, appreciate it, AJ. Kent, you get the last word, brother. Question was for you.
Well, humans can work together. I work together with people all the time, but we don't become one. It's a group of people. It's a colony. So that's all that's ever been observed. Nobody's ever observed a two-celled creature or three-celled. But somewhere along the line, it had to go from single cell to 100 trillion cells like a human today. Somewhere along the line, something happened in their theory that they cannot prove. That's why evolution's a religion. Nothing scientific about it.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, again, this has been a ton of fun.
Evidence? That's not how our system works.
Snake was right. You'll see.
God bless.